Hey guys, Oscar here for NotAGarage.com, also Poppy Daddy, and I want to welcome you to another episode of Driving with Oscar. Very straightforward. We're going to be talking about different topics. This is actually the first time I formalize this and have something prepared to tell you about. And I'm on my way to the beach with Claire. It's about 9 a.m., 8:40, and I guess I'll tell you a little bit about me on this episode and answer one short question that I have from a friend. Why should you listen to me? You shouldn't. I'm always learning, but actually you should listen to me, and I'll tell you why. I've had about 20 years experience working with technology, about 15 or 16 years formally working for the man or corporate. Actually, I only worked for corporate for about 9 years. The rest has been all me working for myself. And many of you want to know how to work for yourself, how to make a living without having to show up to work on a 9-to-5 job. Tons of people are telling you about this. It's no surprise. If you own your own business, you can have the freedom to do almost anything you want. But I take it a step further, and I want my business to be almost self-sufficient in a way that I don't have to actually be there all the time for my business to make money. My business on its own makes several $1,000s, and I don't have to be there constantly calling people, responding to emails, or coming up with new stuff to do every day. I do work quite a bit, but I don't consider what I do work. For example, what I'm doing right now, creating this video for you, that is work for me, because I'm going to put this out on my blog, on YouTube, and other social media channels, and invite you to join what I do. And based on some of the products I use and some of the products I recommend, you may decide to jump in and start a business. Maybe I will answer a question that's been really kind of the roadblock for you to start something, and I have answers for you to put into practice and hopefully change the way that you look at business and life in general. As I said, right now we're going to the beach. I should be there in about 10 minutes, so we'll keep this video shorter than that. And I've worked for companies of all sizes, multi-billion-dollar companies like IBM, AmeriQuest. I've consulted for tons of other companies like that, but I've also worked for companies that are probably a little more in line with what you want to start. You know, a small one-man operation, maybe 5 people, maybe you have 5 people as employees. So I have experience working with lots of money, big budget, and very rigorous and strict chain of command. But I also, Claire's just telling me to shh, because she's in the back. We're both together going to the beach. But at the same time that I've worked with corporate and suited up and all that, I've worked with people that are trying to bootstrap their business, not slow, but a small budget, but really passionate about what they're doing. So I have experience, and I want to share that with you. Back in 2009, I decided to go work for myself, and I've done that. I've been doing that now. It's 2015, and I continue to do it. I'm happily doing this. I live in one of the best cities in the country, if not in the world. It's Irvine, California. You're welcome to come and visit me. I host several meetups and events where you can come and join other people like us that want to learn more about their business, grow their business, or even just start a business. So with that said, I'm going to answer one of the questions that comes up the most. This is asked by people that are looking to start a business and people that already started and maybe aren't sure where they're going. And the question is this: should I go and find this niche or this topic that nobody's doing, and I have a great idea? So should I do that, or should I go into something that is more saturated? They say everybody thinks that the high profit businesses are saturated. And while that may be the case, where there's a lot of people there, I wouldn't necessarily call saturation a bad thing. Saturation means that there's a lot of money to be made. If you see that people are starting up new businesses and staying in business for a long time, or a significant amount of time, and you see them growing and you see them making money, even in a field that is very, very competitive, the reason for that is that there's a lot of money to be made. Whether you understand that or not, take my word for it right now and run with it. For example, let me tell you the 3 top industries or niches that are out there that have been profitable for the past 100 years and will continue to be profitable for the next 100 years. That is money, health, and beauty. If you can teach somebody how to make more money, you will make money. If you can teach somebody how to look beautiful, you will make money. And if you can teach somebody or give somebody a product that will make them feel better about themselves psychologically or physically, that's the health part, you can make money. The problem is most people see somebody that's big. For example, in the money-making blogging arena, we have people like Zach Johnson, John Chow, Tayo Cruz, all these people making money online with websites. And somebody new coming into play thinks, oh, you know what, how am I going to compete with John? How am I going to compete with Zach? Well, let me tell you a personal story first. While I don't directly compete with John or Zach, I am making money in the same niche they are making money. I teach people how to leverage their existing intellectual property to create more revenue and increase their bottom line. Whether they do it part-time or full-time, it's irrelevant. What's key in doing this is presenting what you have to offer to the audience that wants it in a compelling way. If I went into the blogging space and I start up a blog and I say, hey, I want to teach you how to make money by teaching you how to make money, that's exactly what John does. Nobody's really going to listen to me because it's been done and someone else does it better than I do. So what I need to do is come up with a clever idea or a different twist on how to make money online and present it in such a way. Now, I'm not going to tell you how I'm doing that because then that would give away what I've worked on to be sort of my edge into the business. But just yesterday I was talking to a friend that's starting a health supplement business. He's actually joining into a partnership with somebody else, and one person out of their garage is making close to $2 million, if not more, in revenue, in net profits, not in sales, but in actual profit from this business. And they started just a few years ago. So, and you would think, well, you know what, GNC has that market. This other company has a market. They already own the market, and why was anybody buy from me? Well, the truth of the matter is that if you can find a different formulation, or perhaps you find that there's a new market, or not a new market, but an untapped market that wants the product but isn't being very marketed to, or nobody's marketing to that group, then you have an opportunity to break into that and take a share of those profits that are just waiting for you to be made. I also heard on the radio recently, I believe on KFI, you can probably go listen to the archives, about a guy that got really creative with making candy and reviving stores. That was very impressive to me because what he did was, he was thinking, you know what, he was going to the store to buy his favorite candy from childhood, and the store kept telling him, well, sorry, we don't have it, maybe check back later. Go check this other store, go check that other store. And nobody had the candy. Nobody had this one piece of candy that he wanted. And what happened, he decided to call the company that used to make the candy and talk to them. They said, you know what, we went through some reorganizations and rebranding, and that candy didn't fit our marketing anymore. It didn't fit our vision of our company. So we decided to drop it. And here's where the clever part comes in. You have huge mega corporations that own, or the myth is that they own the market space. How can anybody start making candy today and make any money? Well, this guy got creative and asked that company, can I buy the license rights to produce the candy? And they say, sure, we're not doing anything with it. We'll sell it to you. He bought the candy, he bought the license, and now he's making that candy, making money. He decided then to take this model and approach other businesses that have let their brands die, let their trademarks either expire or are unused. And he started collecting this and making kind of a revival of these brands and this company. So when you think that all things have been done, you can still get creative and find ways to do that. So the question was essentially, my friend saw that I make money by building free websites. And you may wonder, how the heck do I make money by building free websites? I mean, how do I actually get money if somebody's paying for nothing? Well, there's a catch. And just like anything, there's always a catch. You know, if you come to a restaurant and they say $1 drinks, you go in there, they may say that the dollar drinks are only available after you buy a meal. So there's a catch. For example, I sell a free website that is, for all intents and purposes, free. I will build it, customize it, and pull all the information you need, make it work for free. But you have to buy the hosting. So on the web hosting space, which is probably one of the top 5 most competitive internet spaces, web hosting, it's very difficult to make money if you just say, hey, I'm selling web hosting. Well, turns out the web hosting companies will pay me for every referral that I send their way. I'll make a little bit of money, they get a new customer. So I took that and I now offer a service on top of the web hosting that is just enough for somebody to start their website, and I get a commission for them because they buy a web hosting package. So that's the basics of this. My friend said, can you really make money with that? I wanted to give it a try. And the advice I gave him specifically was this. If you want to go in and say, I'm going to set up a WordPress website for free, click here, you will most certainly not make any money. Why? Because you're competing with other people that are established and have tremendous amount of money to market to that audience, where they'll just market over you. Even if they go at a loss for some time, they'll market over you time and time again just to drive you out of business. So I knew that coming into the business, so I decided to put the angle where I will build your website for free. And I explained that to my friend, and the answer is, if you can create that free website but for somebody else, you have a high chance of making money. Don't mention WordPress, don't mention web hosting, and things probably work out. The same thing applies to any competitive niche. Health and beauty, for example. People want to lose weight and they want to look beautiful, right? No matter what they tell you, this is true. There's a lot of people that say, oh, you know, beauty and this is superficial, but they go and buy makeup. They go and try to join a diet group to lose weight. So the fact is that people do want to take care of themselves, and just because there's somebody else already doing it doesn't mean you can't do it. So as you're starting your journey into a business, and I'm not calling you an entrepreneur just yet, because that word gets thrown around quite a bit, and I think it's being misused. I believe an entrepreneur is somebody that is creative in business. Somebody that can take something and take nothing and build something out of it. When you can do that, that's when you call yourself an entrepreneur. For the meantime, you don't even have to worry about that. What you have to worry about is starting a business that makes money for you. The motivation is important. My motivation is my wife and my kid. Claire is why I do the things I do today. And my wife is why I started doing the things I started, because I love her in a way that I can't express, and I want the best for her. And things happen that are difficult. Sometimes, in fact, I struggled with my business for the better part of 2 years. I didn't know what I was doing. I came from a background of technical expertise where I could almost dance circles around anybody in the topics I'm proficient about. I really can. But most people could not understand why they should hire me to do their work, and I didn't know how to sell it. I didn't know how to express that what I had was valuable and that they should hire me. So I had to reinvent myself as a marketer. I had to learn that I don't sell a website, I sell what the benefits of the website will bring to people. And that is key. So when you join a business, when you start a business, you can't be like everybody else, even if you are in the same space. You have to find a way that the audience that you're trying to reach will understand crystal clear how your service or your product will help them. It doesn't even need to be focused on how the product is different or better than somebody else's, because someone is always better than you, no matter what you think. Someone can always do it better, cheaper, faster than you. So you cannot focus on that. You have to focus on how your expertise, your product, your delivery, and your execution will make that person better. Whether it's their life, their business, their health, their bank account. If you can't express that, you are dead in the water. Besides that, competition is good. If you see a niche that you think is saturated, go into it, because it's not saturated. We have a global population of over 7 billion people, and close to half of that is on the internet right now. More people are joining that, and over the next 5 to 10 years, I've read estimates of 80% being connected. Can you imagine? What is 80% of 7 billion? 5 and change? So can you imagine 5 billion people on the internet looking for answers, looking for a way to change their life? And now we're not talking about only first world countries. In first world countries, we have money, right? We have infrastructure. We have a good, a structure of society and politics. Where, however you feel about that is irrelevant. The fact is that the structure is there. But if you go through developing countries, you will see that many of the things we take for granted here are just being developed. Take the richest man in the planet right now. His last name is Slim. He's a Mexican national, but he's descended from, it doesn't matter. The fact is that he saw the potential of telecommunications a long time ago. But at that time, when he realized that telecommunications and wireless communications were important, we already had them in first world countries and developed countries. Australia, England, the US, we already had a good infrastructure. We already had players that dominated that. So what did he do? He goes into the market of Latin America, and now he's the richest man in the planet. Not Warren Buffett, not Bill Gates, this guy. Why? Because he was in a market at the right time, a seemingly saturated and not important market. Not only was the market saturated in the world view, but people didn't think that developing countries could afford or use this technology. So he just shows, he's there to prove that those things are total fallacies. And if you are stuck in the idea that you can't compete, you can't make a difference in a space that's already busy with other companies, then you need to reevaluate what you want to do, because your job right now, if you have a regular 8 to 5 job or a regular corporate retail job, is probably the most competitive thing out there, and you're still working there. At any point, at least in California and a lot of other states, your employer can come in and say, Michael or Susie, whatever your name may be, you are fired. I don't need you anymore. Have a nice life. That's it. Your life will completely forever be changed because somebody decided they don't need you anymore. So how do you feel about having that hanging over your head? How do you feel about somebody owning that much power over you? I didn't like it. I didn't think I was at risk of being fired or let go. And in fact, I didn't get fired, and I didn't let go. I wasn't let go. I quit. Not because I saw any issues with my job other than the fact that it was a job, but I quit because I wanted to find this freedom that I now have, and I wanted to have it. Right now, I would be working on a server somewhere or talking to a customer, trying to fix their problem. And while I love doing that, I want to have the choice of not doing that. Like this morning, I sent a message to a few people that I had to talk to this morning. I say, hey, I'm not available today. We'll catch up in a few hours. And I took off. And now I'm here with Claire. We're close to the beach. I'm maybe a little bit lost, but hey, so we found the beach finally. So we're just gonna park right now, and I hope that you enjoyed this episode. I hope it was useful and insightful. So if you find that you think a niche is very full, make sure you do research and find a way to compete, because the reason it's full is because it's highly profitable. It's not. If it wasn't, then people would be leaving the niche and it wouldn't be profitable. So think about that next time you or your own mind tells you shouldn't do something because someone else is already doing it. Can you imagine if Pepsi thought that way when they started Pepsi? Can you imagine if, Apple thought about that when they decided to reinvent themselves? Netflix was a brand new company. It started, and there was already Blockbuster, delivery, all that stuff was already there, but Netflix decided to do it their own way. Tons of companies you can say about that, and the fact is, if you don't try it, you'll never know. And if you try it, make sure you have something valuable to offer and a different perspective so that the audience will go with you as opposed to possible competitor. Okay? Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Picasso, Claire, and I wish you a great day. Talk to you soon.